All right, this is my can't say the N word. Monkey rig patch. That's some metal tape I got wrapped around this crack. All right, as you can see, I also put a hose pipe clamp around it. This is just a temporary. I won't get the replacement part until Friday. But this is what caused all those problems. It's this exhaust pipe. And you can see it comes from there. It goes through this and then up into there. It's part of the emissions. I know this is working properly. I got this here hose sitting here temporary. It's supposed to be down. It's just so I can do this. I'm gonna pull that stuff back down, which is the fire, or it helps hold back the heat or something, I guess. So hang on a second. Okay, we're back. As you can see, there's a clamp where the crack is over top of the metal tape. There's like 5 layers of metal tape. Then I put the clamp on. And then I'm using a couple extra clamps to hold that material on temporarily. I was using electrical tape, but being an electrician, it might not be so smart. So a couple clamps just to hold it temporary until I can get by. But let me put this all back together and you can see the difference. Okay, as you can see, I put the intake line back on. So there's my fix. Now we'll go start up the truck after I close the hood. All right, we're inside the truck. Let's start her up. Look at that. RPMs are holding steady at 500 like they're supposed to be. Let's put her in gear. She's still staying at 500 RPMs like she's supposed to be. Problem temporarily fixed. Put it back in the gear, or out in the park, and there you are. She's still where she's supposed to be. The previous video, if you noticed, when you first started up, RPMs would start at around 2,500 or 3,000 RPMs, and then drop to nothing. But once I got it warmed up, then she would idle at right around 700 to 1,200 RPMs, fluctuating. So I have replaced, my neighbor's going to clear the codes, so don't worry about that. But the codes I have right now are, I was getting a misfire, a lean fuel, it couldn't read the throttle position, high RPM code, all these, it was just a nightmare. So I have replaced the spark plug wires, idle air control valve, the throttle position switch. The throttle body has been cleaned so well that you could actually eat off of it. The EGM, I believe that's what it's called. The exhaust gas manifold, which is that tall cylinder, that's been cleaned thoroughly. And the computer has been replaced, the ECM. Here's the old computer that was in there that I replaced. This is the throttle position switch. These are expensive. Not as expensive as the idle air control valve. That's really expensive. So my mechanic, been working on my truck. His computer could not find the problem. Let me shut this off. Yeah, his computer couldn't find the problem, so he suggested that I go to the dealership. I'm outside of Sholo, Arizona, in the White Mountains. So what the place I had to go to was Horn, GMC, Chevy, Cadillac dealership. So I went there, and I just love that it idles at 500 like it's supposed to be. The dealership said that it was going to cost me $160 to do a computer diagnostic, to find out what the problem was. So my appointment was at 8 o'clock. I took it in. I explained everything. I actually let him watch the previous video. He read the description. And then the mechanic got it. 5 hours later, they came to me and said they found the problem, that I had a small vacuum leak, but now it was a major one. And it was from my EGM. I believe that's what it's called. EGM. Yeah, here's the book. It's this guy right here. This little thing right here. This pipe. Anyhow, that was the problem that had a crack in it. Well, this morning when I looking online to see if I could find a replacement, by the way, you can get a pretty good price for the whole pipe on eBay for $79. There's a whole bunch of people selling it, same price. So that's what I bought. But for me to buy it, I was going to go get a money or gift card. Sorry, cancer. Yeah, I was going to go get a gift card. So I needed to be able to drive down there because I don't like anybody having my credit card numbers. So I was going to go down to the Dollar General. They sell them there. But I needed a temporary fix. So what I did was, I had this metal tape. I cut it up in strips, and I put that on, and I did it in 5 layers, like I said earlier, and made sure it was on nice and tight. And then I tried to start the truck up, and she did the exact same thing. She went up to 3,500 RPMs on initial start, and then she just stalled. I couldn't even get her to stay running with the gas, put foot on the gas. And then I tried to start her, and she wouldn't start. I tried it like 5 or 6 times, and she would not start. Period. By the way, I love this book. Let's see. I've had this since I bought this truck. As you can see, I've had this book since I bought this truck, and it is well used. As you can see, best investment I ever made. Anyhow, so just like she's supposed to be. So anyhow, I put the stuff on there, and I'm like, okay, well, I'll start it up. I finally got it to start. After it went start, I just shut it off, waited a couple minutes, and then started up again. and she did exactly what she just did now. She went up to about 1100 RPMs and then dropped down to 500 RPMs. And the needle was not fluctuating like it was before. Before, it would be bouncing all over the place. So now it's just sitting there. So okay, I'm like, okay, well, it's working temporarily. So I'll run down to the store really quick, grab a gift card, place the order, come back, and just leave the truck parked for ever until I get the part. It won't be here until Friday. So that's what I did. I got back here, and she was running great. She didn't try to take off on me. The idle comes down like it's supposed to. I'm driving down the highway, take your foot off the gas. I was doing 65, and the truck in front of me slowed down to 50 for some odd reason. Took my foot off the gas, and sure enough, the speed slowed down. It was great. It's like it was supposed to do. So I get down there, come all the way back, and I'm like, hey, it's working great. They just put down, you can see, brand new gravel on our road. I love it. By the way, that is private property. So as you can see, we got signs that even say that now. So the county came out here and asked permission to put cinder down on the road. They encased the property markers in concrete. And the two that are here, they actually have brass. You can't see them because they're underneath. They have brass pins or caps. They're like 2 inches in diameter that go down on the road. They're also encased in concrete over the top of the property markers. As you can see, I'm getting a brand new road put in. So they don't compact our road. So I thought, well, I'll just drive back and forth since my engine's working perfect now. And I did. And got a nice little compaction here on the edge. So anyhow, I spent a lot of money on parts and time. It's been a month working on this. And it turns out it was only a $79 part that I needed. There's no other vacuum leaks. Everything is running perfectly. It's a well-maintained engine, as you can see. Everything on that truck is pretty much new now. New suspension. The full front end's been totally replaced. It's got a new engine in it. It's got a new transmission in it. It's got a new rear end, new front and back shocks, obviously new mirrors. Those are custom mirrors. They extend out for trailers. I like these. So for normal driving, they're like this, and they pull out for trailers. So those are cool. They're also heated. I got a little heated symbol. Yeah, see, it says it's heated right there. For defrosting. So basically, this is my little GMC. She's not the prettiest thing on the outside, but I love this truck. Everything underneath is brand new. So back to the end of my story. So anyhow, I took it to the Horn dealership. Okay, right here, this is the mass airflow sensor, and this is the connection. You can see there's a little grooves right here. It's on both sides. There's a lock pin that goes in there. They took it out. It's tan. They took it out and they didn't put it back in. I'm kind of pissed about that. And when I opened up the hood, this was very loose. The screw was just barely on there. It wasn't even finger tight. Oh yeah, I even had to replace these. Trying to make sure. But yeah, that's a new alternator, new coils, new plugs, new wires. I want to change this eventually. I was looking online. I can get one of those ones that this tube comes here, and it's called a cold air filter. So this is a bitch to get out because of that big ass freaking drum that's down here. It's part of it. The Redison chamber, whatever. Anyhow, it's a bitch. So anyhow, that part's missing. This was loose, and they damaged that pipe even more that was down there that I fixed up. Because when I got in the truck, after they gave me the truck back, my mechanic couldn't even find a vacuum leak. You couldn't hear anything. But when I got into the truck and I started up, the truck would barely run, and it sounded like a jet engine inside. I'm like, what the hell? And then when I drove down the street to the O'Reilly's, figuring, okay, well, they told me it was in a leak. Maybe I can get some tape, some exhaust tape, and put it on there, which would have worked too. I got this metal epoxy that I was going to use, but when I found that the line had been almost completely broken because of them, then I'm like, well, I can't do that, so that's when I did this instead. So anyhow, so not only did they lose this, and they broke that, my hands are, they broke that pipe even more, almost lost the Vortex cover, and they charged me $18. They say it's like they charge like 2.48% over the, I'm sorry, it's my brain. Over the bill, for shop supplies. So they charged me $18 for nothing that I had to pay. Oh, by the way, they broke this little clip here. It goes in there. It was broken. So now I have to go buy another one of these clips. This is just wedged on there right now. Yeah, it's good enough for temporary. And then the best part is for them. By the way, I did say this has got a brand new transmission in it. They wanted to change my transmission fluid. Charged me almost $300 for that, even though their technician did the checklist, and it said there was nothing wrong with the transmission. So they want to charge me $300 for to drain the transmission, change the transmission fluid, which all they would have done is hooked up a hose and sucked it out of here. I know, because that's how I changed the fluid last time, because it's a brand new transmission. So just before winter, I actually pulled out the fluid because the fluid level was too high. So I pulled out all the fluid, and then I put new fluid back in there. So I know the fluid is in good condition because now the level is correct. So they want to charge me nearly $300 for that, and then $800 to replace this line. Goes from here underneath this thing. This is on the bolts, 2 bolts, because that's what's cleaned. That's the module, and it works obviously. And then there's 2 more bolts right down here. So this pipe goes through here, it pops up here, and then it goes back out in there. So there's 1 bolt on here that goes to the head. Then there's 2 bolts right there, and then 2 bolts right there. So they were going to charge me over $800 to do that, to replace that part. And of course I found the part online for $79. Do it myself. I think I can undo 5 bolts and do it, seeing how I replaced the entire front end. And it was free shipping, by the way, also. So Friday I'll have UPS is going to show up here. It says it's either It was UPS or FedEx is what they ship by. I think it said FedEx Home. So anyhow, Friday I'll have the part here. And it's coming from California. So usually California takes 2 days. It ships, and the day after it ships, it's here. So they were going to keep my truck, and they charged $50 for the first night to have it parked on their lot, and then it was like $6 each night after that you had to pay, and they were going to get the part for a week. So not only were they going to try to charge me nearly over $1,100. So here's what they charged me. As you can see, miscellaneous charge $18, and then you read right here 12%. That's what it is. Mr. Right. So it's 12% of whatever the bill is. So it was $150 to do a diagnostic, $18 for the charge, and then $1.52 for tax. So $169.52. And this is their sheet that they went through. And the only problem I have, is that's Poker. She was just poking me. That's Grouchy. That's that girl. Weeble. So back here. So as you can see, everything through here except for my windshield has problems. The wipers is BS because they're brand new. Everything else is in good shape. I know I have one minor leak for the oil pan, which is another thing I'm going to do. So here's additional service recommended. Transmission fluid exchange. So here's the thing, as you can see, to do it. They wanted to charge me $1,142.28 plus the $50 for the first night and $6 each night after that to fix that one little pipe. And of course, they're trying to say now I have to have the transmission fluid changed. And they said I had to do another diagnostic to clear up the engine light, which I just paid them for. So, as you can see, here's what they're saying. I verified the part number, which is 12569076, and it's the pipe, and it matches 4 days plus. For the pipe, they're going to charge $400. So, and then they were going to say for the gasket and the oil ring, it all comes as one part. It's all on there. It's got the existing O-rings and the O-ring and everything all on there. So they're charging all these additional charges for everything that's part of it. So as you can see, it's Horns Automotive. I highly recommend not going there unless it's absolutely necessary, because they will screw you. So I did pay them to diagnose the engine and clear the check engine lights, but my mechanic friend says by law, unless they fix the problem, they can't clear the codes. So he's going to clear the codes for me. So I paid them to find the crack and break the pipe more. And I'm going to still end up having to fix the problems and clear the codes myself. So, do not recommend them. Oh, and then they wanted me to pay them another $170, because it would have been the same amount I just paid, to clear the codes that they were paid to do the first time. So, whoa! Hi, Weevil! My chickens are all in here because I got the door open. They're my pets. See, this is Weevil. Because Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down. And Poker. Anyhow, that's the problem resolved.